Hey beautiful people, how are you doing? You are welcome back to yet another tutorial video. If you're new here, you are most welcome. My name is Chichi for short, and if you are a returning subscriber, thanks for always coming back. And today guys, I'm going to be showing us how to cut and stitch a corset with a shoulder and armhole all together on a straight stylish blouse. If you love what you're seeing on your screen, then sit right back, relax and enjoy while you learn. Please always endeavor to subscribe if you haven't subscribed yet. Thank you. I begin by marking out all the vertical measurements required for a straight blouse, which includes the breast point, the armhole, the underbust, the half waist length, and of course the blouse length, which you already have. And then I mark out the shoulder, which is the shoulder divided by 2 plus 1 inch. So here's the shoulder of 15 inches divided by 2 plus 1. And with that, I mark out the armhole area. And next, I come to the breast point measurement divided by 2. And then I mark all the way from the center fold. So here's the breast point measurement divided by 2, which is 7 divided by 2, which is 3.5 inch. So here's the mark of 3.5 inches from the center fold. And then from the breast points to the underbust, whatever it gives us, which is 3.5, I'm going to be marking that 3.5 inches measurement, which is the distance between the breast point and the underbust. So I'm going to be marking that all the way around, just like so, to give me a perfect circumference. So here is how that goes. Now that we have the circumference, I'm going to be extending the breast point line to touch the tip of the circumference, and then coming down to the underbust area, I'm going to be marking 1 inch between the breast point line at the underbust, and then at the top of the circumference I mark the same 1 inch between the breast point line, and then I join the points to the breast point area just like so. And then coming down to the tail end of the blouse, I'm going to be marking ½ inch between the breast point line that's at the tail end of the blouse, and then I join from the underbust down to the end of the blouse like this. And next, from the breast point line, I'm going to be coming up by 1 inch. If you like, you can use 1.5. The reason for coming up by 1 inch or 1.5 and not marking this point exactly at the breast point is to avoid too much exposure of the cleavage. But if you want that to be exposed, please, you can mark this ½ inch exactly at the breast point line. And exactly at the 1 inch mark, I'm going to be coming in by ½ inch from the center fold. And from this ½ inch being marked out, I'm going to be connecting that to the underbust area, and then I connect from this point to touch this other point. And then at the base area of the circumference, I'm going to be connecting to the armhole. Please, as you come up to the armhole area, please let it not be too outward so that your cup is not looking flat. And from this point, I'm going to be marking a slanted straight line to touch the shoulder area. You can also take out ½ inch from this point before you mark your slanted straight line. This is if you want the upper chest area to be exposed to some extent. But because I do not want that, I'm going to be marking exactly from this point all the way to the shoulder area. And then I mark out the shoulder slant, and I do that by coming down at the armhole area by 3/4 inch, and then I connect that point to this straight line already marked out. And now it's time to shape the corset, which is the body circumference divided by 4 plus seam allowance, and for the bust is the bust divided by 4 plus 2.5 seam allowance, which is 12. And at the underbust, I just add ½ inch to what I have at the bust, which is 12.25. And at the half waist length, I either add or subtract ½ inch from what I have at the underbust. And at the lower part of the blouse, I divide the hip by 4 plus 4 inches. And at this point, I'm going to be coming up by 1.5 inch. This is to give us a curve at the two sides of the blouse to avoid any pointiness. And next, I connect all the points at the sides together to give us the body shape. And from this 1.5 inch area, I'm going to be connecting to the base of the blouse just like so. And now it's time for the back part of the blouse, and then I mark out all the vertical measurements. But at the underbust, I'm going to be coming down by 1.5 inch for the back. And then I mark out the zipper allowance of 1.5 inches all the way. Please do consider subscribing if you haven't done that at this point. Thank you. And next, I mark out the dart allowance, which is 4 inches from the zipper allowance area. So I mark 4 inches all the way, and here is the dart line. And at the underbust area of the back, I mark ½ inch between the dart line, which I'll be connecting back to the dart line. But before that, let's mark out the shoulder area, which is the shoulder divided by 2. And after getting that, we cover the armhole area. And back to the dart area, I connect the point back to the dart line just like so to give us the the dart allowance at the back. And now it's time to input all our body measurements, that is the body circumference divided by 2 plus the seam allowance. And at the underbust area, please include the dart allowance. Also at the blouse length area, I'm going to be including this half an inch that will be taken in for the dart allowance and an extra 4 inches. And then I connect back to the base of the blouse just like so, and also connect the sides of the back. And then I come over to the shoulder area and then have the shoulder slant marked out. And at the zipper allowance, I'm going to be coming in by half an inch at the underbust area to eliminate any bulge. Please guys, I'm so sorry, there is a terrible mistake on this part. This half an inch, I'm supposed to mark it at the zipper allowance, not on this line. Please take note. Please, here's the correction. I had to correct that. I'm very sorry about that. I need to admit my errors. Thank you. And with that being said, this is what we have for the front and then the back. Please, for the strap of the corset, if you want it slimmer, please, you can just reduce the wideness of your strap depending on how wide or slim you want the strap to be, okay? You can go ahead and reduce it by half an inch or 1 inch depending on how slim you want it to look. And now it's time to do the cutting out, guys. And after the cutting out of the front and bringing them back together, this is what it looks like. And I keep those at side. But before that, this other part of the cup, I'm going to be indicating it so that I know how to place the cup when stitching. And then I come over to the back and do the cutting as well. Guys, please, I hope you remember the correction that I had to do on this part. So I'm going to be cutting along this new path, not this mistaken area, okay? Thank you for your understanding. For the dart, if you wish, you can split your dart line apart. But for me, I'm not going to be doing that. I'm just going to be leaving it like this and then stitch the dart on the fabric. I'm not going to be cutting that apart. For the neck width of the back, I'm not going to be doing that at the moment. I'll first of all stitch the front. So whatever it gives me, I come to the back and then cut out. And now it's time to cut on the fabric, and I place the first pattern on the fabric and I cut along this part. As you can see that on the fabric itself, I added half an inch except for the armhole area and then the shoulder area. I didn't add half an inch. I added half an inch to every other part. But for this other side of the cup, I added half an inch to all sides. The combination for this blouse is an Ankara pattern at the corset area and then this net lace with a sequence underneath it for the body part of the blouse. So let's watch out and see how this turns out to be. But I'll first of all be cutting out on the interfacing, which is this one. Then I'll use the interfacing to cut the fabric and the laces itself. Please note that I also added half an inch to this part of the body, that's this part and also this part, but not the side and then the length of the blouse. And for the centerpiece area, please note that the fabric was placed on fold and you can see where I added a half an inch allowance as well. And please note that for the back, there is no half an inch added anywhere because I have all the allowances on the pattern already. And at this point, guys, I have all of the fabric cut out. That is the net lace, the sequence, the interfacing, the Ankara fabric. I have everything already on ground for stitching. But before I do that, I'm going to be putting stay and wadding on all the necessary parts. So here I have them with the wadding and stay where necessary. I have the cup area with the wadding and then every other part with just the paper stay, or you can even use a hair stay. Whichever stay that is available to you can serve this purpose. So at this point, we are ready to go stitching. So I begin the stitching obviously with the cups. I have the cups stitched together and this is what it looks like, guys. So this is what the cup looks like. And then I'm going to be notching and then using an ironing ham to open up the seam for the cup. And guys, this is looking very beautiful, I must confess. And then placing everything side by side, guys, we can see what that is looking like already. So this is what our beautiful corset with shoulder and armhole is looking like already. And we also have the back put together already, and this is what the back is looking like with the sequence underneath the net lace. And here we have the body part of the front as well stitched together. So this is what we have for the inner, and then this is the outer part of the underneath part of the front. And then placing the cup on it, you can see how that is looking like already. Please, what do you think about this, my design on the corset? Please let me know in the comment section. Am I doing too much? Am I being moderate? Please let me know. And then I'm going to be stitching the cup on the body just like so. Please just watch carefully and see how I get that stitched down. And after stitching the cup to the body of the blouse, this is what we have. So this is how beautiful this is turning out to be. And the only thing left to do is to turn the front with the interfacing all the way, and then I do the same thing to the back. So here's the back. I'm almost done with the back, and then I couple the body together. And guys, our corset with shoulder and armhole is already looking all pink and beautiful. Guys, can you see how this is looking? Can you see how I played around this blouse? Like this blouse is giving me, I don't know the kind of vibe I'm getting, but guys, it is a positive and an exciting one. Guys, please let me know your thoughts in the comment section. Give this video a huge like. Please don't forget to subscribe if you haven't done so at this point. See you in my next video. Bye.